Imagine standing on a penthouse balcony in West Kowloon, looking down at the shimmering neon veins of Hong Kong. You aren't just a businessman, you are a 438, the Deputy Mountain Master. In the world of the Triads, you are the shadow governing the streets, the bridge between ancient ritual and modern corporate ruthlessness. But to sit in this crocodile skin chair, you had to walk a path paved with blood and ash. Your journey began decades ago as a 49, a basic member. You weren't born into wealth, you were born into the hunger of crowded tenements. You joined the society not for glory, but for survival. Your initiation took place in a damp basement, under flickering candles and the suffocating scent of sandalwood incense. There, before the altar of Guan Yu, the god of war, you pricked your finger, mixed your blood with rice, wine, and sugar, and swore the 36 oaths. If I should change my mind and betray my brothers, I shall be extinguished by 1,000 swords. In this world, Guanxi connection is thicker than water and deadlier than any law. Remember the first oath. After entering the Hung Gate, I must treat the parents and families of my brothers as my own. If I break this, may I be struck by 5 thunderbolts. And the 14th. If I disclose the secrets of the order to outsiders, I shall be killed by 5 guns. These aren't just words. They are a death warrant hanging over your head every time you speak. As a young blue lantern, you were the muscle. You spent nights in dim mahjong dens and wet markets, collecting protection fees. It wasn't like the movies. It was gritty, repetitive, and dangerous. You learned the 329 signals, the secret handshakes, and the specific way to hold a teacup with 3 fingers to identify yourself to brothers from other lodges. One wrong gesture in a rival's territory could mean a meat cleaver to the spine. You survived because you were Leng Zai, smart and cold. You didn't just fight, you anticipated. Your promotion to 426 the Red Pole changed everything. As the enforcer, you became a tactical commander. When a rival faction from the 14K tried to move into your territory in Tsimsha Tsui, you didn't just send boys with sticks. You orchestrated a chopping. You coordinated 20 men in white gloves to arrive in silence, execute a surgical strike on the rival leader's motorcade, and vanish before the first police siren echoed. You learned that violence is a currency. If you spend too much, you go bankrupt, prison or death. But if you spend too little, you lose your purchasing power, respect. Now, as a 438 Deputy Mountain Master, your life is a delicate balance of high finance and low morality. Your morning starts with a meeting with a legitimate real estate developer. You aren't shaking him down, you are his partner. You provide the unspoken labor, the ability to clear a building of stubborn tenants or ensure a construction bid goes through without union interference. To the public, you are a philanthropist in a tailored charcoal suit. To the underworld, you are the administrator of the mountain. Your office is a sanctuary of tradition. Behind your mahogany desk sits a hidden altar. You manage the 415, the white paper fan, or strategist who handles the money laundering. Let's talk about the mechanics of your wealth. Your empire doesn't keep bags of cash under mattresses. Instead, you use luxury watches and fine art. A limited edition Patek Philippe or a Richard Mille isn't just jewelry. It's a portable, anonymous currency. You buy these timepieces with dirty cash through overseas middlemen. They are then shipped across borders legally as personal property. When you need clean money, you sell them through reputable auction houses. The proceeds, minus a commission, are now legitimate income from the sale of personal assets. The same applies to art. You might buy a painting by a rising modern artist for $5 million in cash in an unregulated market. Months later, a professional appraiser, one you've cultivated for years, values it at $10 million. You donate it to a museum for a massive tax write-off, or sell it to a shell company you own to create artificial profits. Money flows through the cracks of oil paint and watch gears, transforming from blood to valid digits on a Swiss bank screen. But power requires spiritual maintenance. Every quarter, you gather your sub-leaders at an ancient temple hidden in the new territories for the incense ceremony. The air is so thick with smoke it's hard to breathe. You wear a traditional black silk robe, standing before the tablets of the ancestors. The bronze bell tolls slowly. You hold 3 large incense sticks, raising them above your head. You must perform the 9 prostrations, each a reminder of your absolute submission to the mountain. The smoke swirls into grotesque shapes. In absolute silence, you repeat the oaths. As this incense burns, so shall the life of any traitor. The stinging heat of falling ash on your bare hands is a test. You must not flinch. It is a form of mental discipline, keeping even the most brutal men in a state of holy fear. Despite your power, you live in hypervigilance. In the Triads, there is no retirement plan. You never sit with your back to the door in a restaurant. Your driver is a 426 who has killed for you twice. You check your car for trackers every morning. The threat doesn't just come from the O Bureau, Organized Crime and Triad Bureau. It comes from the younger generation. The new breed doesn't care about the 36 oaths or the burning of incense. They care about instant profit and methamphetamine. They see you as a relic, an obstacle to their expansion. One afternoon, your secure line rings. It's the 432, the straw sandal, your liaison. A red pole from a breakaway faction has been skimming from heroin shipments. In the old days, you'd have him chopped immediately. But today, a public execution brings too much heat. Instead, you arrange a tea ceremony. The meeting takes place in a private room of an old-school dim sum parlor. The air is thick with poor tea and tension. You sit across from the young traitor. You don't scream. You don't threaten. You simply recount the story of the first 5 ancestors of the Shaolin Temple who were betrayed by their own. You speak about the spiritual cost of breaking the brotherhood. As you talk, you slide a manila envelope across the table. Inside are photos of his family in Vancouver, the house you helped pay for, the school his children attend. You offer him a choice, the red path or the white path. The white path is a confession, a heavy fine, and quiet exile. The red path, well, he knows what that is. You watch the sweat bead on his forehead. This is true power. Not the blade, but the implication of it. He chooses the white path. He bows, drinks the tea with trembling hands, and leaves. You have maintained order without firing a shot, but the night brings its own shadows. You visit your elderly mother in a quiet suburb. She thinks you are a successful logistics entrepreneur. You see the pride in her eyes, and for a moment, the weight of the bodies you've buried feels like lead in your chest. You realize you can never truly leave. Once a brother, always a brother. If you try to walk away, the secrets you hold become your death warrant. You are a prisoner in a golden cage, guarded by men you call brothers, but who are also your potential executioners. As you drive back to the city, the red and blue lights of a police checkpoint appear. Your heart doesn't race. You have the best lawyers on retainer. But as the officer shines a light into your car, you see your reflection. You aren't that hungry boy anymore. You are a ghost of a tradition being eaten by the modern world. You are a 438, a guardian of a secret empire, living every day as if it's your last. Because in this world, loyalty is the only thing keeping the 1,000 swords at bay. You roll down the window, offer a polite smile, and hand over your perfectly legal ID. The officer waves you through. You accelerate into the darkness of the tunnel, heading back to the neon lights where you are king, where you are a brother, and where you are a target. This is your life as a high-ranking Triad member. A life of absolute power, ancient rituals, and the constant, chilling knowledge that in the end, the mountain always claims its own.